What's it gonna be, Parker? Screw it. I'm so fired. I guess I'll mess it up again. Kinda strange that I'm running in circles when no one is holding.
Spider-Man is such a fun little piece of live-action fan fiction. There's an obvious affinity and affection here for the character and his more humorous side. And the commentary here brings up a lot of interesting points of things that a superhero might consider about, their persona and their image, and how it's being translated to the public, while also, of course, going through the mundane part of their life when they're not fighting crime, particularly in this case when, it's a young boy still in school, like his comment on forgetting his homework. I also loved the moments that combined the comic book aesthetic to the cinematography and the stylistic editing. It helped really marry those two worlds together in a beautiful way.
Spider-Man. I really enjoyed this. I thought this was so well done and so creative because unlike a lot of the other superheroes, at least like the ones that are really being talked about, or I guess in general, the kind of the trope with superheroes is they're either like from a different planet of some kind, like Superman, or they're like a billionaire and in whatever way that is, like Batman or Iron Man. But with Spider-Man, he's, from here, and he's, always, not always, but he's generally portrayed younger. And I don't think that anyone ever really thinks about, like, not necessarily with the jobs, because they will portray that with superhero movies, but like with like doing laundry or having to do mundane chores and things like that. I don't think that they necessarily ever really think about that when they're portraying superhero movies, or even with just fans thinking about superheroes. We always think about like the big and the bad and the fun and the fights and the power and all of that stuff, but never necessarily like what goes through their head when they're doing laundry, like when they're just waiting for their dryer to be done. So I thought this was really fun and really creative, and I really enjoyed it.
Spider-Man. Okay, this was very short, but it was very fun. There's a lot of things to like about this project. The first of which is that you can tell that it's a project made with passion. It's funny, and I love the opening with when you combine this whole vignettes like in a comic book, and then when we see Spider-Man sitting by the washing machine, it's very fun because he's thinking about his work and how he can be more menacing to the bad guys and everything. It's very fun. I really like this project. It's very short, but it has a lot to offer. I think that Marvel fans, and especially Spider-Man fans, will be pleased with it. So well done.
This was humorous. It really showed what superheroes do in their downtime while it's still in costume. Thinking he was in costume because he's probably out of clean clothes, but still in costume. It was quite humorous. I loved how the beginning was edited. It looked very much like a comic book with the frames and how they were interspersed with each other. It was quite creative. It showed Spider-Man very much as Peter Parker, where he's very human and ignoring his phone, his work. He's just as Spider-Man. Can't really go in like that, especially when you don't have clean clothes. It was a very humorous film. You could tell these writers really thought about it. They like Spider-Man, but they put the humor onto it. It was a great fan film.
This film was called Spider-Man. This was such a funny and entertaining fan-made tribute to Spider-Man. I love the bright lettering in the style of the original Spider-Man films. Excellent use of screen squares to give it a comic book feel. The actor playing Spider-Man was excellent, a funny portrayal, especially during the laundromat scene with its visual antics. Awesome voice work too. I really enjoyed the city scenes of his flying on webs, lots of humorous commentary by Spider-Man. The singing and upbeat soundtrack were perfect. I would love to see more work by this talented group. Great job.